So today's lesson is on hijab. So we're going to see how hijab is used in Quran and how what we understand it as commonly in our country and elsewhere in the world also. Hijab is considered to be the head covering, and that's what everybody thinks, that Muslim women are supposed to cover their heads and wear hijab. So let's see from Quran how hijab is used, and then we're going to see what Quran says about the head covering and other code of conduct that is mentioned in different ayat. So for hijab, the first ayat is Surah 17, ayat number 45. Surah 17, ayat number 45. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa iza qara'tal Qur'ana, और जब पढ़ा जा रहा हो कुरान, when you recite Quran, जअलना बैनका व बैनल लजीना ला युमिनूना बिल आखिरा, we put up between you and the people who do not believe in the hereafter, hijabam mastura, a hidden invisible veil. So hijab is just a veil, a separation. Allah Ta'ala says that when Quran is being read, so people, yourself and people who do not believe in the hereafter, there is an invisible veil in between, which means that people who believe in the hereafter, they will understand the Quran when it is being recited to them. And those who do not believe that there will be accountability, you have to, believing in the hereafter means that believing in accountability, that whatever deeds you have done in your lifetime, you'll have to pay for it, or you'll have to bear the burden of it. That's what belief in hereafter means, that there is a cause and effect and there is accountability, and you will be answerable to your whatever your deeds have been. You have to be bearing the burden of the outcomes. So, and when Quran is being recited, there is a division. So people who don't believe, they will be separated, and people who believe, they will be separated by hijab, which is a partition in between, which also means that, everybody will be listening, but the believers actually get the message, they get to understand, they take in the lessons. But those who don't believe, they find it like, what was there for us? What is there? Don't understand, don't get it. So that is the difference. So hijab is used here like that. And another place where hijab is used is Surah 19, ayat number 17. Okay. Surah 19, ayat number 17.
Sorry, 19%?
19, yeah. Surah Maryam, ayat number 17. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِن دُونِهِمْ hijaba. And then she placed a screen from them. Again, a partition, a veil between them and herself. So basically, hijab means to separate yourself, a separation, a veil. That's what it means. فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا, and then we sent from ourselves our spirit to her. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا, and he appeared before her as a human being in all respects. So that is the rest of the ayat. But the main word hijab is used as a partition, a separation. Now we see what Allah Ta'ala says about a woman, about the attractive woman.
Juju can't, she's saying, I can't open this page, this link. Is this did you send the link?
Yes, I did. There are 3 members already here. Ji. You can try. Ji. So Surah 3, ayat number 14. So when people say that women have to cover this or cover head or cover, sometimes they go to the extent of covering hands, face, feet, everything. We see people do all that. So Allah says that He has made a woman beautiful. So everything about a woman is beautiful and attractive. That's how it is. So let's see this ayat. Surah 3, ayat 14. 1, 4, 14. Zuyina linnase. Zuyina is zinat. Zinat di insano ke liye. Now insano means all mankind. Even women like to see beautiful women. We all appreciate beautiful women because it's beauty Allah Ta'ala has created. Zuyina linnase hubbu shahawate minan nisa, that it is the love of things that they desire. Min nisa, aurton mein. The top of the list is women. The things that Allah has created which are beautiful, and in mankind, Allah has given the love of good things, of beautiful things, min nisa, which means from women. So women are the most, because the personality of women, the nurturing personality, it's everything about the femininity of the woman is beautiful. The emotional side, the feeling, the empathy, the sensitivity, all that about a woman is beautiful that Allah has created. So it's not just the physical beauty, it talks about everything about femininity. So Nisa is to be seen not just as women in physical sense, it's women in their, entire personal disposition, in their attributes, in their femininity. Wal banina, and sons. So people find sons attractive. Again, sons indicate the intellectual growth that you have. That is son. Wal kanatiril mukantarate, and heaped up hoards minas zahabe, of gold, wal fiddate, and silver, wal khailil musawwamate, and branded horses, or nowadays branded cars. They are sort of appealing and attractive to everyone. Wal aname, your animals, wal harse, and your crops or your well-tilled land. So all these things are very attractive to everyone, but the first thing that is mentioned is women. Zalika mata'ul hayatid dunya, and then it is said that such are possessions of this world's life. Wallahu indahu husnul ma'ab, or Allah ke nazdeek, in nearness to Allah, is the best of the goals. So after having said that all these things are very attractive, still these are just enjoyments or things to be enjoyed during lifetime, but the end is always going to be towards Allah, which means that we have to still focus. You can appreciate all these things, and you can desire all these things because the attraction is given in them, but you have to work righteously to be close to Allah. Now in Surah 24, Ayat 30. Surah 24, Ayat 30. Okay. Kullil mu'minina, say to the believing men, yaghuddu min absarihim, that they should lower their gaze, wa yahfazu furujahum, and they should guard their modesty. Zalika azka lahum, ye unke liye azka hai, tazkiya hai, justification or greater purity for them. Inna Allaha khabirum bima yasnaun, beshak Allah ko khabar hai jo bhi wo kaam karte hain. So the first instruction is to believing men, which is very important, that believing men have to guard their gaze and lower their gaze. Again, people misunderstand that they should not look up, they should not look at a woman. That's not what it's saying. It's saying guard your gaze, don't check her out. Do not look at her in a way and give her that uncomfortable feeling. So don't check her out in that sense, but you can talk to her in a, in a sort of, in a modest way, straight way, yes, without suggesting anything. So that is the instruction to believing men. And the next ayat is kullil mu'minate, and say to the believing women, yaghdudna min absarihinna, that they should lower their sight or their gaze. Again, the same instruction is given to them also, to women as well. Guard your gaze. Do not check out anyone like that. Or when you're talking to someone, don't have that look. So keep a check. وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ, and guard your modesty, wala, your private parts, wala yubdina zinatahunna, and do not show your beauty illa ma zahara minha, सिवाय जो कि जाहिर है उसमें से. So when Allah has said the entire woman is beautiful, now he's also saying an extra bit कि आपने, you have to guard your gaze and you have to be modest. उसके बाद आपने जीनत नहीं दिखानी सिवाय इसके कि जो जाहिर है. अब जाहिर क्या चीज है वो हमें वुजू से पता चलता है, बिकॉज वुजू में हम जाहिरी हिस्सों की आप पानी से सफाई करते हैं. फिर से यू क्लेंज इट बिफोर द नमाज. सो व्हाट आर दोज? ये आपका फेस है, आपके हाथ टिल द एल्बोज, देन योर हेड, आपने सर का मसा करना है. तो आप सर का मसा अगर इफ इट्स कवर्ड, why would you be doing sar ka masa? And instruction is for both men and women. And pair ka masa karna, so they're all uncovered, things, आपकी body parts. So इसलिए कहा इल्ला मा ज़ाहरा मिन्हा, सिवाय इसके कि जो जाहिर है उसमें से. So whatever is open, उसको आपने cleanse करना होता है वजू से. So this is a clear instruction कि आपको सर कवर करने की जरूरत नहीं है. वल यदरिबना बिखुमुरिहिन्ना, अब जिसको पॉइंट को वो नोट करते हैं, द बेसिस फॉर हेड कवरिंग, दे से here it says, and strike with your coverings ala juyubihinna, over your chest, your bosoms. That is the instruction, that strike with your coverings over your chest. So again, that is the area where anybody, men usually get attracted to. They are not attracted to your head. So the entire instruction is so that men, if they look at you, they should not be looking at something that is going to give them a wrong desire. So the head covering is more cultural. It's more become that because somebody has misunderstood that khumur, bikhumurihinna, is a covering. So they say that it is a head covering. But it's not a covering for the head. If it was covering for the head, the word for the head is ra'as. And wherever the word head is used, ra'as is used for it. So it's not used here, but instead, juyubihinna. Juyubihinna is pockets, and pockets meaning your chest. So that is what is actually required to be covered. And we all understand that that is, one thing that men can be looking at. So you do not want anyone to look at you and maybe, make you feel uncomfortable.
Which word did you say when you used
For the coverings? Bikhumurihinna. Khumur. And we're going to read where khumur is used elsewhere also. If you want to look at it right now, we can come back to this ayat later. So in Surah 5, ayat number 90. Surah 5, ayat number 90.
Is just a covering, not head covering.
No, khumur, yes. How khumur is used in Quran. So we are going to see that. In Surah 5, ayat 90, khumur has been used.
Sorry.
Gigi.
Surah 5,
5, Surah 5, ayat 90. या अय्युहल लज़ीना आमनु, ए लोगो जो ईमान लाते हो, इन्नमल खमरो, बेशक अल खमर. Al khumar here is the same word used as khumurihinna, which means the intoxicants. It's referring to alcohol. So alcohol is Rijsum bin amalis shaitan is something from the deeds of the shaitan, so we have to avoid it. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that al-khumr means intoxicants, something which covers your senses. So like drugs also are intoxicants. So all that you have to avoid, because these are, what shaitan takes you towards, so that you don't remain in your senses, and you're not able to then carry yourself properly. So that's the word khumr that it means. So khumr basically means the covering. So here it is used, al-khumr is which covers your senses of thinking, and it is intoxicants. And when we are reading in Surah 24, Ayat 31, it is just your covering which you have to put over your chest. And it does not say that these are coverings of the head. 24:31, back to 24:31. Ji, Surah 24, Ayat 31. So we'll continue with the ayat from there. Wala yubdina zinatahunna, and do not display, they should not display their beauty, illa libu'ulatihinna, except for their husbands, aw aba'ihinna, or their fathers, aw aba'i bu'ulatihinna, or their husbands' fathers. Now this is in respect to the relationship, that beauty means that you can be comfortable, or whatever your beauty of your personality also. It means all sorts of beauty. So you can show your beauty to your husbands, to your fathers, like a daughter does, to a father-in-law, like a daughter-in-law does. So in relationship to the, with respect to the relationship. Aw abna'ihinna, or your sons, aw abna'i bu'ulatihinna, or your husband's sons, aw ikhwanihinna, or their brothers, aw bani ikhwanihinna, or their brothers' sons. So these are all relationships where you can be comfortable and have a open relationship with them. Aw bani akhawatihinna, or your sister's sons, aw nisa'ihinna, or your women, again women around you, aw ma malakat aymanuhunna. Ma malakat aymanuhunna is those who are under your authority, not your slaves. It's usually translated as slaves, but anyone under your care, anyone over whom you have authority, decision-making authority about them. أو التابعين غير أولي الإربة من الرجال. And you can show your zinat to people amongst men, to men who are غير أولي الإربة is usually translated as who do not have any desire of any physical desires, which actually means somebody professional. So if there is a teacher, there is a therapist, there is a doctor, anyone, so obviously you have to share things with them, or you have to show something. So that is allowed. So here, this is the ayat which says you can show your zinat there also, because there is no physical desire involved here. It is basically for your treatment, or anything that you need help with. With tifle, or to children also, allazi lam yazharu ala awratin nisa. Those who have no sense of the nudity of awrat is, of the woman, that they are not yet familiar with that, if a woman is bare, what about the parts of the woman? So they're not aware of that. So such young children, it's okay. And wala yadribna bi arjulihinna, and do not strike with your feet, liyolama ma yukhfina min zinatihinna, ताकि इल्म हो जाए जो छुपा हुआ है आपकी जीनत में से. So again, walking in a way, everybody understands when you're walking in in a wrong style, or you're dancing in a wrong style. So it people take it to to consider all sorts of dance. But then there are different sorts of dances, which are cultural dances, which is art form, which is just expressing joy, and everybody can see the difference, what it is. So it's not like a blanket rule for everything. Don't strike your feet so that you show off that kind of zenith which is hidden to others, which should not be shown. जी. Okay. وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا, and turn towards Allah together, all together. أَيُّهَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, all you, O you believers, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, so that you prosper, you attain bliss. So turn towards Allah, and this is all the direction, a code of conduct that has been shared in this ayat, starting with guarding your gaze, and then covering your chest, and also guarding your modesty, and then you are allowed to expose the parts which are already exposed, which are mentioned in wuzu ayat, because we clean them every time, we wash them every time we are to pray. So those are the parts which are open. And then how to show zenith to each and every relationship, that has been explained in detail here. Next, Surah 33, Ayat 32. Surah 33, Ayat 32. And this you can all understand. This is all very sensible and basic, common understanding things. Nothing extraordinary about these things, these commands. Anybody who is modest and who is sensible would understand that this is how you carry yourself. Surah 33, Ayat 32. Ya Nisa an-Nabiyye, O consorts of the Prophet, women of the Prophet, Lastunna ka ahadim minan nisa'i, you're not like other women. Init takayittunna fala takhdana bil qawli, in the sense that if you do fear Allah, you do take guard, then do not lower. Again, the same word lower is used here, takhdana bil qawli, in your tone of voice. So again, through your tone of speech, you can be suggestive. So avoid that. And the explanation is given further. فَيَتْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَدٌ, ताकि चाहत करे, lest one in whose heart is a disease, he should be moved with a desire. It's all for your own protection. वकुलना कौलम मारूफा, और बात करें उनसे जो मारूफ बात है. Speak to them in a straight tone, which is maruf means recognized. So when you're communicating to anyone, so for your own protection, Allah says that the other person should not get any wrong idea. So for that, you should speak in a tone which is a formal tone, and do not the lowering of the speech means that in a surrendering tone. Do not use that tone, so that the other person would get a hint, a wrong hint, and they will obviously harass you or say something to you which you would not want them to say, and speak to them in a just manner, in a straightforward manner. We'll read the next ayat, number 33. وَقَرْنَا فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. This is another part of the ayat which is understood. Wakarna. Karna means to settle in. Fi buyutikunna, in your homes. Now, settling in your homes does not mean that you stay in your houses at all times. Settling, karna means find, make home in your home. That is what it means, because women are not supposed to go out and feel comfortable and at ease or make home elsewhere. So you have to be attached to your home. It does not mean that you can't go out, you can't spend time away. That all is fine. But your home should be your place of, settlement, where you feel comfortable and at ease. So it's simple as that. Karna simply means that stay attached to your home. So don't find home with anyone else or in any other place. Wala tabarrajna tabarrujal jahiliyatil ula. Sorry, just to add to the last point, because women are emotional, they have feelings. So it is an indication that, or it is a guidance that you should not be following your emotions every time. You should stay attached and linked with your home. So home means your family and your place. So do understand that that is where you belong. So don't get drifted and moved with somebody else's.
This is only for the Prophet's wives, yeah, for all women.
Ji, yes, it has been addressed to the Prophet's wives, but then women, believing women who are striving to come to a certain level of, piety, तो फिर उनके लिए फिर आप उस लेवल पे जब आप अपने आप को रखना चाहते हैं, तो फिर आप इसी तरह की प्रैक्टिस करेंगे जी. So that is the standard to achieve. तो हमारे लिए भी है कि हम भी करें जितना कर सकें, और अगर नहीं भी कर पाते हैं तो वो कोई ऐसी बात नहीं है कि आप कोई खुदा ना खास्ता यू आर डूइंग समथिंग रॉन्ग अगर आप नहीं कर पाए, लेकिन अगर आप करेंगे तो आप ज्यादा लेवल ऑफ नेकी में आ जाएंगे. दिस इज व्हाट इज इट मींस.
Priority should be your own home.
जी, प्रायोरिटी ये बात है जी. प्रायोरिटी इज ऑलवेज योर ओन होम. सो आपने कहीं जाके कहीं और पे अटैचमेंट या कहीं और पे फीलिंग्स साथ लिंक अप नहीं करनी है. बेसिकली इसका मतलब ये है, लेकिन इसका हरगिज मतलब ये नहीं है जी. एग्जैक्टली, दैट इज वेयर योर स्ट्रेंथ इज. सो आपने जाके इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप घर से निकल नहीं सकते, जो यूजुअली हमारे कल्चर में लिया जाता है कि बस आपने तो घर में ही रहना है. नहीं, आप सारे काम कर सकते हैं. यू कैन गो, you can do business, you can study, you can teach, you can do any profession, but you stay connected with your home. So that's important for women for their own protection. وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. And do not decorate, make not a dazzling display of yourself like the people of the times when they were ignorant. Now that's also very important to understand what tabarruj means. Tabarruj means very showy. Tabarruj comes from the word burj, and burj has been used in another ayat as stars, shining in the sky. So don't make a display of yourself which is too loud, that you stand out too much. Now it is understood, it is said to women because women decorate themselves, and that is their beauty and that is their personality and everything, but do not overdo it. Now, this is for everyone. Everyone's level of overdoing is different because some personalities carry it very well. Even, if they are dressed up in a very showy outfit or, look, they carry it off very well, because that just goes with their personality. But everybody cannot look very nice in a simple way also. Some people carry the simplicity very well. Some women carry the, really nice, loud show very well. So it's each to his own. But overdoing that and too much of a display is to be avoided. And it's also mentioned like the people before who were ignorant. So now that you're learning and you have the knowledge, so you can avoid it. But otherwise, in the past, everybody does that. Everybody likes to show, their beauty and decorate it. وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةَ, and establish salat. وَآتِينَا الزَّكَاةَ, and give charity. وَأَطِيعْنَا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, and be obedient to Allah and His Messenger. Innama yuridullahu, indeed Allah's intention is لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ, that he removes all impurity, أهل البيت, from the people of the house, وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا, and he purifies you in a pure manner. So this is for our own cleansing and purification, and for women, because women are considered very sacred also, and very significant, because their position in the family matters a lot. They are the makers, homemakers, and family makers, and keeping everything together. So for them, they have an extra responsibility to guard themselves so that they don't get influenced by outside any influences. So it's not actually, again, it's not restricting, it is more for protection, more protecting. So it should be taken like that. Next ayat is same surah 33, ayat 58 and 59. Surah 58 of Surah 33, ayat number 58. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ, and those who annoy or who cause discomfort to the believing men and believing women, بِغَيْرِ مَكْتَسِبُوا, with undeservedly, without any reason, فَقَدِ احْتَمَلُوا بُهْتَانًا وَإِثْمًا مُبِينًا, then bear upon themselves a heavy blame and a clear sin against themselves. So this is just a context of the ayat which is more relevant, the next one, why it is being said, because some people do annoy or say wrong things or to believing men and believing women. So the next ayat is Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu. Now this is an instruction to the Prophet and Nabi. Kulli azwajika, say to your spouses, wa banatika, and your daughters, wa nisa'il mu'minina, and believing women at large, yudnina alayhinna min jalabibihinna, that they should base upon themselves an outer garment, a gown. The jalabib is a gown. So they should just wear an outer garment. Zalika adna, this is least that they can do. Ay yo rafna, that they be recognized. Fala yu'zaina, and they are not harassed or they are not spoken to in a wrong way. Wakan Allahu ghafurur rahima, and Allah is oft forgiving and merciful. Now this is an instruction to the Prophet for his spouses, for his daughters, and women at large. The jalabib, which the Saudi version is abaya, but otherwise the Quranic term is jalabib, simply means a coat, wear an outer garment. It can be of any form and shape. It does not have to be that Saudi typical abaya that they wear. You can just wear an outer covering on top of you, and that will suffice. Basically, the idea is to cover your curves so that you don't get harassed by anyone. So that is the whole purpose. So we have two things that we see in the dress code, one to cover your chest, and the second one is to wear an outer garment. And the same thing you can understand in a psychological manner also, that an outer garment means another level of formality in your the way you carry yourself. That would be an outer garment also. Let's see Libas-e-Taqwa for that, because when we say garment or libas or an outer covering, that is physical also and psychological as well. So when you carry yourself with a little bit of, formality, yes, formal behavior with everyone, then everybody treats you like that as well. And then people don't take advantage of trying to, pass a comment or say anything wrong to you. So that's what it means. Do you want to see Libas-e-Taqwa, or it's okay? Do you understand what I'm saying about the outer garment, or would you like to see the ayat of Libas-e-Taqwa?
I think it's pretty clear.
It's pretty clear.
If you cover yourself with another loose material,
Exactly. Just
you're
like
free of any.
yes. You see, whenever you have, anytime you're wearing something and you feel a little conscious, it's very natural for us when you're going somewhere. Let's suppose you're dressed up in a certain way and you'll be fine at home, but if you have to go to the market or you have to go to somewhere where it's going to be very crowded, so you know that you just wear another coat on top, a shrug on top, or a chadar on top, and you feel comfortable. So that's very natural, and that is for everybody else to see also. They get an indication that this lady would like to be, left alone. So do not
Irani chadar hoti hai na, you take it all around.
Yes.
So it's very simple to.
The concept is simple. So, and we all understand that where we should be wearing something where we need to an extra covering, and where we don't need to if we are comfortable. And then again, yes, it says that this is the least you can do so that you are recognized. So what it means that it's not amongst people who know you, because people who know you will understand how to behave with you well, nicely and properly. But people who don't know you, that is where you actually make this like your aapki pehchan ban jati hai. Just like a doctor wears a coat and you know that this is a doctor, somebody else will wear something else, a uniform. So when a believing woman is wanting to cover herself and wearing an extra garment, people get the message that she would like not to be, she would like to be respected properly with her boundaries and limits. Ji, so next ayat is Surah 24, ayat number 58. And you'll actually observe that whenever you do put a covering on, you become formal yourself as well. So it just is very natural. You feel comfortable, and you become a little reserved as well. So you in your chadar, you can't go and do like things that you would normally do in your normal attire.
And you've taken that chadar for a reason.
For a reason, that's right. So the code of conduct comes along with it. It's just like an unsaid code.
Question. ये कि मैंने अभी ये recently पढ़ी है, लिखा है कि जो concubines हैं वो ना पहने.
ये अभी आता है. I'll just read that. Yeah. Surah 24.
I recently read it, so I was wanting to know why believing women and not the poor one.
Right. Yes.
Slaves and all.
Sure. So it's Surah 24 and Ayat 58. So the one that you're mentioning is ayat number 60. We'll go on to that also. So here about women, it's ayat number 58 says, Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu, e logo jo iman late ho, believing people, liyasta'zinkumul lazina, seek permission, take permission. They should take permission from you. Al-lazina malakat aymanukum, those who are under your rightful authority. It does not mean slaves or anyone. Anyone who is under your authority, rightful authority. It could be staff members. It could be anybody living with you who's younger, or you're taking care of someone. So it could be lots of different meanings. Somebody who's under your command or authority. That's a lower level of status. Wallazina lam yablughul hulma, and those who haven't reached their akam of age, minkum salasa marrat, they should take permission from you before coming to your room at 3 times. Min kable salatil fajr, before fajr salat, fajr ki namaz se pehle, wahina tadauna siyabakum, us waqt when you have taken off your clothes. It is symbolic yes, you can be sleeping and, you may not have your clothes on, proper clothes on. And it also means that you are relaxing. So your guards are off. Your whole behavior, you are in your, not guarded with a proper, appearance and the way you come out in front of people. So that is the time when you're in your privacy and private space, rather, and people should take permission before coming to you and seeing you. Minas Zahirate, and in afternoon, Zohar ke time pe, Wamim Bade Salatil Isha, and after Isha time, Salasu Auratil Lakum. These are 3 times where you take off your clothes, which means that basically you take off your the whole decorum, the whole sort of, the guards that you have, the behavior, the conduct that, you keep in front of everyone. You have to take a break from that also, just to be yourself and have some private space in your private area. So that's important for human beings also. You can't be very proper all the time. So Allah Ta'ala has allowed us. So it's even mentioned that 3 times before Fajr, after Isha, like when you have that time, you should just relax. And then even during afternoon. So you should take some time off to relax and be yourself without any formality. Laisa alaikum wala alaihim junahun ba'dahunna. नहीं है आपके ऊपर या उनके ऊपर कोई blame इसके अलावा, in timings के अलावा. It's okay if they come about. Tawafuna alaikum ba'dukum ala ba'd. That you move around amongst each other, आप में से बाज के around. Kazalika yubayyinullahu lakum. Allah is tarah explains to you al-ayati from his signs. Wallahu alimun hakim. And Allah has knowledge and he has wisdom. So Allah is even taking care of our privacy as well. That do take your, put down your guards and do relax during the day. وَإِذَا بَلَغَ الْأَطْفَالُ مِنْكُمُ الْحُلُمَ. And when children जो के have grown up, come to age, then فَلْيَسْتَأْذِنُوا كَمَا اسْتَأْذَنَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. They should, when they grow up, let them ask for permission, as do those who are senior to them. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ آيَاتِهِ. Allah explains his ayat to you like this. Wallahu alimun hakim. And Allah has knowledge and he is wise. So everybody, even children, have to be taught not to just, your space and your privacy has to be explained to children as well. So they don't have a right to just to walk in at all times. And we do see in our culture also, grown-up kids are sleeping with their parents, or, which is not right. So the parents have to have a separate space from their children and not allow them in their rooms when they have come to a certain age. So they must teach them boundaries. وَالْقَوَائِدُ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ الَّتِي لَا يَرْجُونَ نِكَاحًا. And fundamentals, the basics for the women who are not hopeful for any nikah. So this is what it means. Now, the older women who will not be thinking of getting married now, for them, فَلَيْسَ عَلَيْهِنَّ جُنَاحٌ أَنْ يَدَعْنَ ثِيَابَهُنَّ. There is no blame on them if they give up their outer garment. So they don't have to wear an outer garment because they are old. They're not seeking to get married now. So it's okay for them to not wear that jalabi, that extra garment. غَيْرَ مُتَبَرِّجَاتٍ بِزِينَةٍ. But they should still not display their zinat openly and in a very loud manner. So don't openly display your beauty. وَأَنْ يَسْتَعْفِفْنَ خَيْرٌ لَهُنْ. And if they are modest, it is best for them. Wallahu samiyun alim. Allah sunne wale hai. He is of all hearing, alimun, and all knowing. So these are the instructions which are given basically. Now we can see that these are very sensible instructions, and you'll probably see that we're all following those already. But again, when we compare it with what others are practicing or trying to propagate, then we find a difference that, what Quran is saying is very sensible, very and very easy to follow. But what the culture says and what others think that is the right way, the practices or the traditions that have been brought down, there are different reasons for it. Now, you can say that, covering the head is symbolic of surrendering or submissive mind. But Allah has not asked us to do it. We can do it if we like to do it because in our culture it is like that, but don't associate it with religion. So that's what is to be understood. We can still do it. It's not like told that you can't do it. And sometimes because, sometimes you do certain things because it is seen as respectful or it is seen as appropriate in certain cultures. Because, let's say in some cultures, if you go, they appreciate, for instance, if you go to Peshawar, they will appreciate if you are wearing a chadar and a scarf. So that's a different thing out of respect. Even when foreigners come to Pakistan and if they have to visit a mosque, out of respect, they will cover their head to show that, we respect your traditions and your culture. So that's a different thing. But has our Quran told us to do that? Has Allah asked us to do it? There is no evidence of that. So then we understand that you're not required to do it. But if you do it for different reasons, then that's okay. That's your personal choice.
What's it's wrong then when
Gee.
people, Muslims abroad,
yes,
are wearing the full covering?
Yes.
When you know it's a security risk or they can't
That
see.
too,
You
yes.
can dress like this.
You can dress still modest. You can dress modest and still
you
have
can hide your face and your identity.
it actually, hiding face, yes. Even hiding face makes others feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Who may know you or may not know you. Somebody who's meeting you for the first time, if your face is hidden, you're not very comfortable speaking to them. And there is a lot of communication and connection that happens when you're seeing someone and when you're talking.
It's insincere not to see someone's face.
Yes, it's not very comfortable. So, and then, okay. All right, just last 2-3 ayat about, since we're discussing about women and feminine, Surah 3, ayat 42 and 43. And the outer garment of abaya. So in their culture, that's what they like. It doesn't say it has to be black. So now people are shifting to other neutral colors. But if you just make a loose outer garment of any print or just wear a coat on top, a nice tailored coat, that's also an outer garment. So it can be your style, your personal style, when you want to wear it. If there is a need, you wear it. So, like you mentioned, that it's being spoken about, the women who are the consorts of the Prophet. So, and the Prophet is saying this. So then when you want to be at that level of respect and formality and piety, and you want to feel that way, then yes, you can practice it. But if you don't, it should not be considered that somebody is committing a sin if they're not doing it. So, and it's also for your, whatever you do is for your own protection and guard. So, to what level you can do, if you are comfortable at home or in going somewhere where there is no need, like, for instance, sometimes when people go abroad, they're comfortable because nobody is looking in them. Actually, when you're wearing all these things, you look more prominent. So the idea is to blend in with everyone. So you dress up in the same way, similar, and you can stay modest and have the same dressing so that you blend in and look like everyone else. So you don't stand out. So to wear a covering or to wear all these things, it's all about making yourself look like others and not different. Surah 3, Ayat 42. So the only woman mentioned in Quran is Hazrat Maryam. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. And when the angels said, Ya Maryamu, O Mary, O Maryam, Inna Allah astafake. Indeed, Allah has chosen you. Wattaharaka, and purified you. Wastafaki ala nisa'il alameen, and chosen you above women of all worlds. So Hazrat Maryam is the chosen feminine, the chosen standard of piety amongst women for everyone, for all worlds. And Allah has purified her. And the instruction given to her in the next ayat is, Ya Maryam Muknuti, O Maryam, be obedient, li Rabbike, to your Lord, wasjudi warka'i ma'ar raki'in, and do sajda, prostrate yourself, and bow down with those who bow down. So again, bow down with everyone. We are talking about collective salat. So Juma salat. So when you're bowing down, doing ruku with everyone, so Maryam is bowing down with everyone. So she is also submitting in Juma salat. So here is another connection with that women should also go and pray in Juma, because there you are praying as a community. And then she is obedient and she submits to Allah Ta'ala. That is Hazrat Maryam's personality. Then Surah 66 and Ayat 12. Why she is chosen to be amongst the best amongst all women. Surah 66, Ayat 12. And that is the guidance that we have to receive from her example. Wa Maryam ibnata Imrana, and Maryam, the daughter of Imran, allati ahsanat farjaha. She guarded her chastity. Panafakhna fihe min ruhina, and then we breathed into her from our spirit. Wasaddakat bikalimati rabbiha, and she confirms to the word of her Lord. Wakutibihi, and his books. Wakanat minal kanitin, and she was one of the devout servants. So this is it's Surah 66, Ayat 12. So this is Hazrat Maryam's character in one ayat, that she guarded her chastity, number one, and then Allah breathed into her from his spirit, and then she confirmed to the words of Allah Ta'ala. So that is her level, and his books, and she was obedient servant to the Lord. And that's what is the guidance for all women. Next, I'll just read an ayat, which is a prayer, Surah 19, Ayat 18, because women have that special ability to receive because of their heightened intuition, and they have a higher level of sensitivity. So that sensitivity is from the higher conscious, the connection with the higher conscious, with Allah Ta'ala, and the wisdom is there. So when they receive inspiration from Allah Ta'ala, this is what we are supposed to say. Surah 19, Ayat 18. Because when Allah sends message to her, she says, Qalat, she said, Inni auzu bir-Rahman minka in kunta taqiya. Indeed, I seek refuge with Rahman, with Allah, from you, in case you do fear Allah. So any idea, now this is, Maryam conceives the understanding of the message. It's going to be a little bit metaphorical, because you have to understand that all these ayat are for us to understand. So if we are going to follow in the footsteps of Maryam and keep her as our, take her as an example, her life as an example. So Maryam conceives the message. She conceives Hazrat Isa, she conceives the message, and Allah blows into her from His spirit. The understanding comes to her. So when the understanding or any such inspiration comes to her, this is what she says. So whenever we feel that we are receiving some inspiration and we want to check it out, that if it is from the right place, the right inspiration, or is it some suggestion coming from the evil one? So we say this dua, in kunta taqiya, inni auzu bir-Rahman minka in kunta taqiya. That we seek refuge with Allah Ta'ala from whoever or whatever we think, if in case you fear Allah. So then we feel that we come into the protection, Allah's protection, because in the next ayat, Allah says that He protects Maryam and Maryam's offsprings, which is Hazrat Isa. So whatever you understand, whatever you conceive, it is protected by Allah.
There's just one ayat?
Ji, this is just one ayat. रहमान मिनका इन कुंता तकिया. ये आप एक आयत पढ़ लीजिए. जब भी आपको you feel that you're receiving an understanding, you're receiving some inspiration, so उसको check करने के लिए protect yourself, protect your understanding, ताकि Allah Ta'ala आपको gives you the guidance that this is the right understanding that is coming to you. 1918. Ji. So that's all for hijab and the code of conduct and what women are supposed to do. These are all the ayat where women are required to behave in a certain way, conduct themselves in a certain way, protect themselves in a certain way. If there is anything that is mentioned, anything that is required of us, this is all that is there. There is no other ayat mentioning something else. So whatever other than this we have understood from our culture or tradition or from, being passed down, because in every area of the world, you see a different, different form of practice whereby people think that this should be done or that should be done. But when you see from Quran, and that is what we are required to do. So, okay, thank you. So if there is any question from anyone about anything that we have read today, so because
okay, I think I read somewhere that the other women and the concubines or the slave women are not supposed to wear.
अच्छा जी, उस तरह से नहीं है कि नहीं, वो शायद translation आपको पता है, sometimes the translation is different or not the right translation.